first one we have on the agenda is the town and village communication discussion. So I think this, Heather can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe, and Daryl, this came up in conversation, I think Daryl and I and Tom and some others, around meetings that occur with the town or village or with, you know, anything we're doing from sewer to talking about dog permits, whatever it is. If we can't make a meeting, Daryl can't make a meeting, that we can send representatives from the village or town that makes sense to be there. So Jake, Heather, those type of people that need to be at those meetings, who can go there, gather information, and bring it back to the team. I mean, that's typical with most elected officials. They bring in, someone goes in a place that they can't be. So we are just going to talk about if everyone was in agreement with that process. So I think it makes most sense, especially when it comes to the sewer stuff and things like that, that Jake is the one that's there.
That's the way it always used to be.
Right. So Daryl, did I have that right?
Can you turn, I can't hear anything you say. Can't you turn up the volume on the laptop itself?
No.
Oops, not you, Daryl.
There you go. Daryl, how's that? Can you talk?
Yep.
There, is that better? All right. All right, sorry we couldn't hear you.
Yeah, we're talking about number one, the monthly meeting.
Well, actually, Jerry was talking about number,
I think that either myself or a representative would attend the scheduling of those monthly meetings. Would try to be something that would be consistent, but if there wasn't something that we necessarily needed to talk about, we would not necessarily conduct it.
So yeah, that was another piece. When we talked about how do we improve communications between each other. I think it was me that suggested in the rural letter that the mayor and the supervisor meet every month, and we could not say we're not talking to each other. If you guys meet on a monthly or quarterly basis.
yeah, I think what Daryl's referring to is there's an email that Supervisor Flaherty sent out back on December 6th, and then he sent it again on December 20th, and in red, wanted to know what the village's responses were. Since there is no packet for this meeting, you guys probably don't have the email, but Daryl's got it.
You had it originally.
But, well, the email was sent to, well,
No, but Daryl printed it out and gave it to them at prior meetings.
yeah, okay.
I did send this out to everybody.
Excellent. All right, so number one was the monthly meeting. So who's going to respond? Who's going to respond to the supervisor?
I thought we did this in person already.
We did.
No.
Yes, we were in a meeting that I don't think you were a part of, and we agreed to this.
And then he asked again, and sent out another email. And then
Well,
Daryl said, well,
I don't think this board has taken votes as to what's going to happen.
We have to vote if Daryl meets with the town supervisor.
Well,
I
you
don't
should-
think
Well, we
so.
should all
There
be
should,
agreement.
there should be,
Agreed.
somebody, this should be memorialized somewhere. You should be taking
But he did
minutes.
send it to us.
Okay, so that, you know, 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, there's something to go on.
Exactly.
and they
And
also
then just have
talked
it.
about doing meetings with the whole board, the joint boards. That was also
That's
a
number,
question.
that's number 2.
That-
And then there should be quarterly meetings of the village and the town. All in favor, raise your hand.
If, yes,
Okay.
if there's
So-
a agenda
so-
specific, not just to meet.
Yeah.
Well, no, yeah, there'll be an agenda, and it'll be more, you know, global kind of topics, you know, not day-to-day, week-to-week kind of stuff.
Daryl, you don't have to vote because it doesn't count.
That's correct. That's the idea that we had.
Right. So, and then the third one was the immediate need, phone calls, email actions, short notice meetings. So, who will be on calls, emails, attending these meetings? Well, with Mayor Byers. So it's the mayor, And depending on the topic, either Jake or Heather, right?
Correct.
And if Daryl's not around, the deputy mayor.
Yes.
And we include.
That's how I understood it.
communication.
Well, if there is an email, sometimes it could just be
I
a
don't
phone.
know about,
Yeah.
if this say authorized to make, by the village to make decisions, I'm not sure if those decisions would be unilateral. It could be, depending upon the topic. If they were not, then it would be obviously something that would have to be taken back for board action. But,
Yeah, it depends on the
Yeah.
topic.
Exactly.
If the decision involves spending money, no, you shouldn't.
Right.
The mayor
Right.
unilaterally, or Jake or Heather shouldn't unilaterally decide that, but if it's something that doesn't involve spending money,
right.
you know, the mayor doesn't have to take everything back to the board. It doesn't, not every
Correct.
decision requires board approval. But it depends, it's hard to say, you know, it depends on what
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
decision they're looking for.
Like Daryl's in Florida, this, I think Tom brought this up as an example, and there's something we have to sign, get something in, an application, grant, whatever it is, and we can't wait till he gets back. Those decisions have to be made, and we can't just leave it in an email and then we lose out on it. So that's what he was talking about, is those
Yeah,
critical things that come up, we have to be able to move on them and make some decisions.
yeah, so the deputy mayor can sign that.
Correct.
I assume that, you know, your example, you know, Matt Chatfield would have brought the grant to the board earlier. It's not like this is, grants coming out of the blue and,
May not be the best example, but I was giving you something
yeah.
where it needs more critical timing.
I don't know. I think sometimes the supervisor is too used to running his own, you know, mortgage brokerage business, and government just doesn't work like business.
Exactly.
There are not a whole lot of things that mayors or town supervisors can just unilaterally decide.
Mhm.
It just doesn't work that way. And sometimes I think he struggles with that. But, it's just the way it is. That's why things move slower with government, because you gotta,
And usually attorneys.
yeah, you can blame the attorneys too. Yeah. But, so Daryl, will you respond, do a reply email to the supervisor?
Or would you like me to do a letter from the clerk from the office?
That's fine, I don't have a problem doing that. I would respond to all three of these. The monthly meeting, obviously not ideally set up here for January, but in February, and then the quarterly meetings we can set up for March, June. You know, we'll set them up quarterly. If that's agreeable to everybody, I don't know.
No, everybody's, they're,
Like a trimester?
We already voted.
well, why don't you suggest, if you want March, suggest like the end of each quarter. You know, so March,
Sure.
June, what's the end of the next one, August? Whatever the month of the end of each quarter is.
Okay. All right. Sure, I'll send them an email on each of these.
Okay.
Can you CC the board in there?